Welcome back to the final installment on word problems. And this is a diagnostic test. So as always, I recommend you to pause the problem, work it out, continue watching to see if you got it right. If you did, kudos to you. If you didn't, make a note on what went wrong. Was it purely your thought process? Was it a calculation error, or were you overthinking? What is going on? So if there's more than one thing that was happening, just write down everything. And then when you're finished with the test, go back and reflect on each of those problems that you missed, compare it against your notes, and try to rework it in a day or two to see if you get it right. Then if you did, that means you understood the problem, right? Without further delay, let's get started. Questions 1 through 3 are based off of the same idea. So I've shown the table in the next 2 slides as well. So the question states the manager of an apartment building needs an electrician to repair the power generator for the building. The table below shows the service call and the hourly charges for 2 different companies. In the first question, you're asked which of the following gives the total cost, which is Y, of repairing the power generator in terms of total number of hours from company A. So you only have to really focus on company A for question A, for question 1, I'm sorry. So if you treat a linear model, which is what we're doing, we know the total cost is equal to the fixed amount is a flat rate, which is $40, right? Right? And then the rate at which he's charging per hour is 55, which corresponds to the slope, and X is the number of hours. So Y equals 55X plus 40, and that's answer D. Because $40 is a flat rate. Assuming you call this person to your premise and you have them inspected, they inspect it and they figure out this is what is wrong and this is how many hours it's going to take. If you choose not to accept the work, then you still have to pay them $40 because the $40 is a service call. That means that's how much they charge you just to simply show up at your doorstep and perhaps diagnose the problem, right? In the second question, you're asked, for what number of hours will the total cost of repairing the generator for B be less than or equal to total cost of repairing the generator for company A? They made the problem very, very simple. So the basic premise is B is less than or equal to A. So let's write 2 separate expressions, one for B. We've already written for one for A. We know for A, Y equals 55X plus 40, right? And for B, Y equals 48X plus 75, right? So let's put these two together. Because they're both Y, we can just say 48X plus 75 is less than or equal to 55X plus 40. So you can subtract negative 40 on both sides, which would give you 48X plus 35 less than or equal to 55X. And then you can subtract negative 48X on both sides. So 35 less than or equal to 7X. So divide by 7 on both sides will give you 5 less than or equal to X, or X greater than or equal to 5. Okay. The third question, it's asking you if the relation between companies B total cost Y and the number of hours is graphed in the XY plane, what does the slope of the line represent? You don't need to graph or do any of that, right? You don't even need to compare B versus A. We know Y for B equals 48X plus 75, right? Or for A, Y equals 40 plus 55X, right? They're asking what is this value in front of the X corresponds to? That is the slope. That's nothing but how much he's charging per hour. In other words, it's the hourly rate, right? It even says right at top. So hourly rate is the answer. Okay. We've done a similar problem before. However, there's a subtle variation in this problem compared to the previous one. Apex company charges a flat fee of $40 per day. So let's say N corresponds to number of days and X corresponds to number of miles. Okay, so 40 N plus 0.75x is for Apex. Okay, so N corresponds to the number of days and X corresponds to number of miles. Jason corresponds to $64 a flat fee times N plus 0.6 per mile, right? So we know that the rental day period is 3 days. So therefore N equals 3, which means for Apex it's 120 plus 0.75x, right? And Jason is 64 times 3, I believe is 192, is it? 192 plus 0.60x, right? If the car is, how many miles would the rental charge of the two companies be same? So 120 plus 0.75x. In other words, the basic premise is A equals J equals 192 plus 0.60x. So 192 minus 170 is 72, is it? And 0.15 minus 0.6 is 0.15, right? Yeah, 0.15. So X would be 72 over 0.15 is 480, right? So 480 miles, if you're driving 480 miles or you're renting it and you're going for 480 miles, then I think at that point, irrespective of what the flat fee is or what's the charge per mile is, neither of the company is not going to cost any difference. That's what it means. I'm skipping problem 5 because the way I worked it out and the way they have worked it out, there seemed to be some misunderstanding on where I went wrong. So I'm going to rework the problem and post problem 5 separately at a later point in time. So I'm just going to go with problem 6. Carl drove from his home to beach at an average speed of 50 miles per hour and returned home along the same route at an average speed of 30 miles per hour. His total driving time for the trip was 2 hours. We've done this problem before. So from home to beach, the rate was 50 miles per hour. And from beach to home, it was 30 miles per hour. So if it has the total duration is 2 hours, if it's taken T time to go from home to beach, you would have taken 2 minus T to get back home, right? And we're saying that they are equal. So 50T equals 30 times 2 minus T, right? They're saying under what circumstances are they equal, right? So how do we get this expression, right? How do we get this expression is solving which of the following two equation yields. Remember, this is what is key here, right? In other words, 50x equals 30y. And remember I said, even when I described this problem the very first time around, the total time is x plus y equals 2, right? Y equals 2 minus x, okay? So similarly, I said T1 plus T2 equals 2, T2 equals 2 minus T, right? So here we can say T is x. If T is x, then 2 minus T equals y. So that means x plus y equals 2, and you substitute for T again back here. So 50x equals y. So let's write it down. X plus y equals 2, 50x equals 30y. You can even use this to eliminate choices. 50x equals 30y only appears twice. One is x plus y equals 2, Other is x equals y plus 2. X plus y equals 2 is what we wrote, so that is the correct answer. To join Ace Gym, one must pay $18 membership fee plus $35 per month. To join Best Gym, one must pay $300 basic fee plus $23 per month. At how many months would the total cost of either gym be the same? So say X corresponds to the number of months, okay? So in terms of total cost Y, for Ace Gym, it'll be 180 plus 35 times X. And in term for Best Gym, the total cost Y would be 300 plus 23 times X. We're saying that these two Y's are same, so 180 plus 35X equals 300 plus 23X, right? So 300 minus 180 is 120, I believe, right? Similarly, 35X minus 23X is 12X, so X equals 10 months. At county fair, admission is $8 and each ride costs $1.25. If you go to the fair with a total of $20, what is the maximum number of rides you can do? So it's $8 is a flat fee plus cost of each ride is $125. Let's say X corresponds to the total number of rides and the total cost of admission and the cost of ride is $20. So $8, so 1.25X equals 20 minus 8 is $12. So X would be 12 over 1.25 is, sorry, 12 over 1.25 is 9.6. But you see that what is the maximum number of rides he can do, right? He's left with, right, at county fair, the admission is $8 and each ride costs $125, right? If you go to the fair with $20, so can you do 10 rides? That's my question. Say let's do 10 rides, 1.25 times 10 plus 8. So he would have had $20.50, right? So essentially, if he had written the inequality in the first place as 1.25x, he cannot have, it has to be less than or equal to 20. That means, right, what is the maximum number of rides he can go is 8 plus 1.25, maximum number of rides he could go would be nine rides, right? Because if I put 9, okay, 8 plus 1.25 times 9, right? That's 19.25, which is still less than $20, right? 19.25 less than $20. That means you'll be left with a 75 cents balance at the end of his day. So he cannot go to 10 rides, right? Because for which he should have carried $20.50, but he only had $20. So you can do it two ways. You can either substitute 9 back into this expression and you'll see it's less than $20. He cannot exceed his $20 that he had, right? So to make it 10th ride, he should have had 20.5. So either you can do substitution method or inequality method. Both of it would give you the same answer. So the number of rides would be 9. A car averaged 18 miles per gallon for city driving and 27 miles of gas for highway driving. What's the total number of gallons of gas needed to drive 6x miles in the city and 8x miles in the highway, right? So 6x miles, right? So cost an average is 18 miles per gallon, right? So if it's doing 6 miles in the city, right? So we know average is 18 miles per gallon, right? Now that's for city, and for highway, it is 27 miles per gallon, right? So 6x miles, so 18 miles is a gallon, right? So if he has driven 16 miles, 18 miles to a gallon, right? So 6x miles would be 6x over 18, right? That's x over 3, right? Similarly, 27 miles to a gallon means, what is it? 18x miles would be 18x over 27. This is 3 6, this is 3 9, this is 3 2s and 3 3s. So 2/3 x, right? What's the total gallons? Means x over 3 plus 2 over 3x. We take 3 as common denominator. It's 3x over 3, which is x. Okay, one section of a grocery store displays only water bottles. The water bottles are either in 6 bottle packages or 8 bottle packages. Let's X represents the number of 6 bottle packages and Y bottle packages. The total number of packages 70. You don't even need to proceed further. You can stop right here and use process of elimination to convert it. So X corresponds to 6 bottle packages. Y corresponds to 8 bottle packages. And the total of package is 270. That means X plus Y equals 270. Which ones represent that? It's only this and this, right? And the total number of bottles are 1860. That means 6x plus 8y equals 1860, right? A package contains 6. So 6 times 6 plus 8 bottle, a package contains 8. 8 times 8, and that will give you 1860. So 6x plus 8y equals 1860. So that's the answer. Well, that concludes the diagnostic test. Like I said, I'll post a separate video on problem 5. Thank you for watching. I'll see you with another video. Until then, bye-bye.